Welcome back. 2020 has been quite the roller coaster for our next guest. After more than 14 years in the US, she packed up her life in LA and moved back to the UK, where her broadcasting career of over 2 decades first began.
And despite the busyness of it all, she still made time to pursue her latest passion, not television, but children's books. And she's one of the biggest names on TV. Cat Deeley joins us now for a chat. Good morning to you, Cat. How are you?
Good morning, Anna. Good morning, Simon. How are you doing? I'm great, actually. I'm really, really good. Good. How are you guys?
We're good. We were just chatting during the break about we have boys between us. You have 2, Simon has 4, I have 3. So we have an understanding of what a house is like with little children, little boys in particular. So you've managed to escape this morning, Cat.
I have. I've found myself a little space.
Yes.
I thought this is going to be a disaster. Milo is 4, James is 2, and they won't leave me alone. So I could just imagine doing this live link up and then running in and having pajamas on and in a state of half undress. And they're maniacs, but I absolutely adore them.
Of course you
love
do.
them more. So,
and we're looking at a gorgeous picture of James and Milo right now, which leads us on nicely to The Joy in You, which of course is your latest book, your children's book, written because, and I love this as a mother myself, at the end of the day, you're absolutely worn out and you just want the book to give them all the right messages, don't you?
That's exactly it. That's exactly it, Anna. By the time they've had their dinner and their bath and they're in their pajamas and you're reading a story, it's so funny because I'm exhausted like any mom at that stage in the day, and you want to send them to bed with the right messages. And so it was about a book that said everything that I want to say when I can't find the words. It's a collection of thoughts and feelings and emotions, and it's top and tailed with love, and it's absolutely warm and fuzzy, because I think that's kind of how you want to send them to bed at this age. Of course, they need to know about the real world, but I think that the more you can get them to talk about their emotions and their feelings, the more they can then reach their full potential as an adult. So and I think all mums and dads just want the same thing for their kids. We all want them to be happy and we all want them to be kind. So I think the more they can talk about the feelings, the better it is.
And what brings the book to life is the absolutely beautiful illustrations in the book, Kat. How did that partnership come about? How did you find each other in terms of working together with the illustrator?
Yeah, so the lady who did the illustrations is a wonderful lady called Rosie Butcher, and she's so amazingly talented. And my publishing house in New York put me in touch with her. But it was a very weird process to me, because essentially what you do is you hand over the text to the illustrator, and then you say, okay, now you interpret it any which way you want to, which is slightly scary, to suddenly hand over what you've been working on for months and months is a bit scary. But my publishing house said to me, no, listen, this is the way we do it. We do that first of all initially, and then it becomes a more collaborative process again. So I handed over the text to Rosie. She created this incredible, magical world of animals. And then I spoke to her afterwards. When I first saw the drawings, I stood in my kitchen and cried like a lunatic, and because I couldn't believe how beautiful they were. And then I said, listen, there's one little bit in the book that imagination can take you to the most amazing places, and there's a rocket in there. Could you draw James and Milo as 2 of the koalas for me, please? I said, they do this thing where they love rockets and they run around the house and they do this thing with their arm and they go, yes! And she said, I don't know what you're talking about, but if you send me a video or a photo, I'll try and do it. And so they did. And so when James reads the book, he's like, James and Lilo, because he can't say Milo yet.
And Milo had a couple of interesting questions, Kat, about koalas after he read it, didn't he?
He did. He said, Mum, he got quite stroppy, actually. He says, Mum, in this book, you said I can do anything. And I said, yes, Milo, you can. You can do anything that you put your mind to. If you just work really hard and you study and you find something that you love, you can do anything. He said, well, no, that's not true, Mum. And I said, what do you mean that's not true? He said, well, what I really want to do is I want to take a koala home from the zoo and keep it here as a pet. I said, Milo, you absolutely cannot do that. Do not do that. At this point, headlines are going through my head going, Kat Deely's kid kidnapped koala. Do you know what? I was thinking, oh, God. Anyway, and then I said, but listen, what you could do, and my brain's going like this, I'm trying to find an answer through the fuzzy tiredness. And I said, but what you could do is if you study really hard at school, maybe you might like something called biology, and then you could go and study zoology. I said, and then you could look after every koala in the zoo, or even fly to the other side of the world and look after all the koalas who don't have mums and dads and they're in sanctuaries. And he kind of looked at me. And I thought, have I done it? Have I done it?
You've done it.
And he was like, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Excellent.
That is an excellent parenting response, the solution to the whole thing. Kat, tell us about the reunion with Ant and Dec, because you're going back ultimately to where you started with this. And I think people will be so excited. We're watching Ant and Dec I was going to say in the jungle, in the castle at the moment. I think they'll be really excited to see the three of you back together.
Yeah, me too. I'm addicted. I'm slightly in love with Jordan. He's just like he's my favourite happy, like he's where I go to when I need a happy place. It's so brilliant. And I think that the boys are just great this season too. I think maybe being in the castle has just refreshed it all. And they're so funny. The two of them together are just brilliant. And so I'm as addicted as you are. Yeah, we filmed it already. It's a documentary. It's going to go out over Christmas. There's loads of old clips. There's people talking about the show. There's us three talking about the show and reminiscing. And it's really sweet. It's like we laugh a lot. We cry a little bit. It's just, it's weird because it kind of took you back to a moment in your life where, you know, at first we were terribly unsuccessful and we were awfully bad. Like we were so bad. And then we managed to turn it around. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. We were rubbish. And we managed to turn it around. And it was just a nice moment in our lives where we didn't really have any responsibilities, but we were just having a great time and we were really good friends. So I think that came across on screen.
But you more than turned around, because it became very clear to us as the TV audience that relationship between the three of you just worked, and you can't fake that. That comes through the camera lens, you know, and we could obviously tell that you guys got on with each other. We said in the intro, Kat, that it was a big year for you because you've obviously been based in the States for a long time, but you moved back to the UK. What prompted the move? Was it always a plan to get back to the UK eventually?
Yeah, I think there was always in the back of our minds a plan to come back. Probably not quite as soon as we did, but Milo found a lovely school and the head teacher said to us, listen, if you can bring him back in January instead of September, he'll be one of 5 new kids starting. And you know what it's like. You do anything for your kids to make it, you know, a big transition like that and make them as happy as possible. And so we kind of moved heaven and earth and lived with my brother in a flat in London, like the 4 of us and a dog, and we're still talking, by the way.
That's good going.
And we yeah, no, right? And we did it. So yeah, it was, you know what, more than anything else, we wanted the boys to know their family. You know, they've got grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins, and you know, they love them and they love them right back. So we wanted them to know everybody, and that was the most important thing for us, really.
I think having children changes your perspective on all of that stuff, doesn't it? So can you see yourself staying in the UK for the foreseeable future, Kat? I
think so. Hopefully, I mean, listen, who's to say what is going to happen next week? I mean, we're all in this crazy stage because the idea was to just relocate here and then I could go back there for work. I was filming a Disney show at the time that got stopped, and then but they're talking about that coming back in March. So I think it's going to be a bit of both, but the boys will be located here and go to school here, so they've got some stability.
Well, listen, whatever the future holds, continued success, Kat. The book is beautiful. Give our love to the boys and to himself, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us, Kat.
Thanks, Kat. Take care.
Thank you, guys. You too. Stay safe.
Stay safe. I feel like that character in Notting Hill, and they're like, we're best friends already.
Yeah.
Now Kat's book, The Joy in You, is available nationwide.
Right, we'll take a quick break. Join us over in the kitchen next.